This episode of the Local Insider Podcast is brought to you in part by My Patriot Supply. There are two things you can count on when you buy from My Patriot Supply: getting high quality food for the best value and the peace of mind that comes with knowing that you're prepared. The emergency food you'll depend on is made from the freshest ingredients. Meals are freeze-dried and sealed airtight with oxygen absorbers and closed in resealable heavy-duty 4-layer zipper packs for long-term storage that lasts up to 25 years. And they're all made in the USA. By ordering today, you'll have the peace of mind that only comes with the ability to feed yourself and those you love in any crisis situation. We think you'll agree you cannot put a price tag on the personal freedom that comes with being prepared. Visit localinsidershow.com/emergency food and pick up your 2-week or 4-week emergency food supply. Again, that's localinsidershow.com/emergency food. My next guest is a former Booneville High School graduate who went on to achieve a bachelor's degree in health and physical education at Arkansas Tech University. He went on to achieve a master's of education and leadership and administration from Harding University. He's been a coach and a teacher, a dean of students, as well as assistant principal. He now serves as the superintendent of Booneville School District. Please welcome Trent Goff.
Welcome to the Local Insider Podcast, the show about everyday people who make a big difference.
Trent Goff, how are you, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. We were discussing a little bit before we started about told you how excited I was that when I found out that you got the super position at the school. And I'm sure, and I know a lot of people that I talked to were just as excited because we had a local guy in there that actually grew up in Booneville, had skin in the game. Kind of tell us the events that led up to that. What made you want that position, and kind of why did you decide on education as a career?
Well, as far as education as a career, growing up in Booneville, going through the school district, most of my role models, people I looked up to, people I spent the most time with, were all teachers, coaches. I was very involved in athletics and activities, and a lot of the people I, looked up to, that's what they did. So, that's kind of the path I wanted to go on, is do what they did and try to make an impact on students and people, this community, like they had on me. As far as the superintendent position, I came here 12 years ago as just a teacher coach. Mm-hmm. I was I'd gotten my master's when I got here, but my goal at first, just be a teacher and a coach, what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Through different events with the Cargill fire, and we lost a lot of students enrollment, so we were absorbing positions. Mm-hmm. So I had my credentials to be a principal or assistant principal, and so on. And as people left, or they had to combine positions, things like that, administrative jobs seemed to become available, and I was in the right spot at the right time.
Right.
And just one of those moves were for my family. It was a good move for us, and different roles for me. And administrative jobs have been great. I've loved the positions, but teacher, then assistant principal, then high school principal, athletic director. And then when our previous superintendent left, it was a place where, I think we're going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And we needed some stability within our community. We'd been changing every 3 to 5 years, And I just thought that something that I think our staff wanted, our community wanted, just someone that grew up in Booneville, loved Booneville, just wants what's best for Booneville.
Right.
Put them first. I'm not saying the other ones didn't, but they weren't from here.
Right.
And just thing that whenever it come open, I was like, hey, I'm going to apply and see what happens. And luckily the board felt the same way and has given me the opportunity. And this is my third year now being the superintendent, and I think we've done a lot of good things so far.
Right.
And hopefully to continue that momentum and positivity for our community. Again,
nothing against the previous superintendents, but when I speak to people, we can definitely tell that there's a difference. Even in the kids and the teachers, just in the whole feel of the school, of how it seems as if things are going in the right direction. And I want to thank you for doing such a great job thus far. And I thank you. It seems like, no matter what you do, you tend to gravitate toward a leadership position, whether even in high school, football, you're a quarterback, you went to Tech, got your undergrad there, then went to Harding, correct?
Right.
So you started doing these administrative tasks. What was your first administrative? It was in Lavaca, right?
Yeah, you're right. It was at Lavaca. This is my second year out of, in teaching. Third year. And the superintendent over there, come to me and just say, hey, I got a dean of students role. I'd like for you to, do that. And obviously I was like, well, sure, I get to coach and be a dean of students. Basically that meant lunch duty and discipline stuff, but still,
right.
It was a leadership position. I was 24, 25 years old then. And, it's really set me up and put me on the path to, to where I'm at now. And I always say this, but when I was at Clarksville, which was my first job, just teacher and a coach, and I just graduated college, just had our first son, and actually he was about to be born in October, and as soon as I got there, their head football coach was like, hey, I'm taking classes, come with me. I'm like, nah, I said, I'm burnt out. I was like, I just need a break. He's like, no, just come on. And I had no desire to want to do it, and that Michael Bain from Clarksville, he's like, you just need to do it, trust me. And that's honestly how I got started in my master's program through this, just that him grabbing me by the grabbing by the belt loop and say, hey, come on, you're just going to do this with me. You need to do it. It'll pay off for you.
Yeah.
And that's really how this whole thing got started for him when I walked in the door and said, hey, you need to do this with me.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's kind of crazy how stuff like that will set you on a path that you don't know where God's leading you.
Right.
But, just one little thing like that, and it's taking off from there.
Right. Who would you say is your biggest influence?
Well, I looking at this, through school, I said I had a lot of influences, with teachers, coaches, but in high school from Booneville, I look back at, and I was only in her class for one semester, but Rosemary Harris, when just go through there, take speech, it just seems like she always gravitated to, for whatever reason, it's like she took you under her wing. It's like, you can do this, because heck, my parents had great parents, grandparents, but they're all high school education, and really, but they were pushing me to go to college. But she saw something in me, and she really poured a lot into me in high school and college, and so on. She probably had a huge impact on my life. And I was in her class for just a semester for speech,
right?
And the impact she had on me through my career, she's one that I just look back and said, she took care of me. She probably babied me more than she should have, but I think she saw something in me, capabilities there, and I look back, and Rosemary Harris had a huge impact on where I'm at today from just from Booneville High School.
That's pretty amazing. Have you said anything to her about this? Is she aware of how big of an effect?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
I still talk to Miss Harris pretty often. So she's somebody we keep in touch with. Candy and I got married. She was right there with us at our wedding.
Wow.
She just become a close friend to us.
I worked with Bob. I first got in the car business, and he was my boss. He was a very interesting character. Yeah. I would say I was a little more shy when I first got in the car business. I wasn't that open, and he kind of helped me, kind of come out of my shell a bit. So yeah, the Harris family is a good people.
I look back and I thought I was special, but you go back and talk to people in classes, and she had somebody, there's a lot of people she did that with. She makes you feel special, but she's had a huge influence. And I know Bob gave me my first job too, down there detailing cars. I wasn't 18, so I couldn't go to the factories like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to detail cars for Bob, so he's a lot of fun.
She had these projects, I guess. She would see something in people, and I guess that's kind of what educators do, right? They kind of mold these kids, and the ones that they see the kind of the route takes, they kind of guide them in a certain direction. Would you say that's a pretty fair assessment?
With our teachers or educators in general, that's why you have different groups, activities, clubs, because each teacher, they have their subject. They have the interest, that they enjoy, and students, they gravitate towards those teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Those teachers, they pour a lot into our students, and to give them, no matter what the students' interests are, to, help them have a chance to be successful. They pour a lot more into them than what you just, than what you see.
Right.
They have a lot of time invested in this, and that's why you have teachers that do, a lot of different things across the district, because, it takes, there's 1,200 students up here, and, roughly, 100 teachers, and, they're trying to pour into those students and, mold them into citizens that want to come back to Booneville, or give them an opportunity to go anywhere in the world to be successful, and, know that Booneville schools made an influence on them.
Right. You have how many employees under you right now?
About 187.
187.
Right.
That's, that's plant management, that's the difference is you're basically the CEO of a school district. Would that be a fair assessment?
Right. Pretty much. Yeah.
What would you say your leadership type is?
I think with each situation, you have to kind of adjust your leadership. But when I got this, and I think all the way through, my goal is to be a servant leader.
Mm-hmm.
Get in there and be willing to do whatever's needed. And work with our students and staff. That means going up and weed eating ditches, because when there's stuff to be done and you get behind, it's been raining, you only have so many people to you just fall in and help where it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal, that whatever's going on, try to serve our students and staff, be a resource for them to help them be successful, whatever they need. That's my goal, is be a servant leader. But also at times things have to make hard decisions sometimes, and that you feel like it's within the best interest of our our community and our students.
We saw that growing up too. We're not a huge school district, so we saw people having to do double duty, and I think that's good for kids to see that. Let's take, for instance, Coach Mann. We didn't have groundskeepers. I mean, we had Billy Kiersey that helped out, but for the most part, the coaches did the field. The coaches did cut the grass. They did the weed eating. They weren't above getting their hands dirty. It wasn't like a unionized system to where all I'm going to do is come up with the strategy for the team and the practices and stuff like that. So I think it kind of comes naturally to us, having gone to Booneville.
I think you grow up in a small town, small district. No matter what your position, that it's not going to be what you just, it's not going to be 7:30 to 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other things that has to get done to, serve our students, because we want things to be done right,
mm-hmm.
things to be done well. I'm big on traditions,
right?
And not that it's always good. I like it the way it's always been.
Right.
There's always ever changing, but our staff works hard to make sure our students feel that hometown pride, and this is our traditions, the way we do things. We want, that we have nice facilities. We keep them, we take pride in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's everybody, not just me that'll go out there and hop on a lawnmower. That's, our staff, they
mm-hmm.
take pride in our school and our district and do a good job of, taking care of those things.
So what do you do in your free time?
Well, not a lot, really. We're kind of our free time. We kind of hang out around the house. We enjoy kayaking. I like to, hunt, and we got a golf membership at Cherokee. I haven't played much in the last few years, but
mm-hmm.
I got one this year. I was like, I'm gonna try to play some more. Our boys, they'll play travel baseball,
mm-hmm.
and they're very involved in a lot of stuff. So during the summer, typically we're just chasing baseball,
right.
and different activities. But Brock Moses and we opened up Elite Physique in town, the gym.
You're
a couple years ago.
Okay, so you're part owner in that.
So we spend a lot of our free time now down there doing that. It's a hobby, something we enjoy, doing, and so that's kind of our free times.
In your fitness routine, what you've got kids, maybe not quite as many as I do, but I can definitely tell that your physique is way more chiseled than mine. So what is your secret to sticking to it and get in and get the work done, making time for fitness and exercise?
Well, as far as probably genetics that's why little parents. But as far I figured out a long time ago, if you wait till the afternoon, there's always something to do.
Right.
So I try to get up early in the morning, get down there, get my stuff done, get back home, get ready, and go to work. So I think I try to go down there 4 or 5 days a week. I try to get there about 5:15 to 5:30, and out of there by 6:30, and at work by 7:30.
Right. So it's just a routine you have.
Yeah, it's just a routine.
What kind of self-talk do you have? Like, I know I want to do that, and I do all the things that all the gurus say. You get your shoes out and get everything ready, and I still find an excuse in my head to say, "Oh, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow." What kind of self-talk do you use to make sure that you don't make excuses? And
luckily, I'm an early bird, so I'm a go to bed early. I'm usually laid up by 9 o'clock.
Go
to bed early, so I like to get up early. I typically get up early and get stuff done. But now by 11 or 12, I'm about worthless. I'm not done for the day. But as far as it's just you get in the routine. The habit, and then when you don't get up and go do it, you kind of feel like I'm probably more tired on the days that I don't get up and go than when I just get up and stay in my routine and do it.
Right.
And now some mornings you get in from a game duty or something like that, it's hard. Roll over and shut the alarm off, but just know that I was like, I just get up and go. Get it. Don't make excuses. I tell myself, just go. You'll feel better. So, but as soon as I roll out of bed, 2 or 3 minutes, I'm ready to roll. So
right.
It doesn't take me much now. My wife, she's a little bit different. She takes her a few more minutes to get herself out of bed, but she's actually teaching classes down there too. So she's getting the habit of the same thing. She's like, I feel better when I just get up and go than when we sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been doing it for quite a few years now. So now it's not near as hard as it was. When I first started, it was hard.
Right.
Just when you have young kids and
right.
Trying all those things. It's hard to get yourself up when you can get an extra hour of sleep in.
Are you familiar with David Goggins?
No.
Oh, you say you feel bad when you don't go. If you listen to this guy, he's a phenomenal guy, former Navy SEAL, former Army Ranger, and his self-talk, he actually went through 2 or 3 hell weeks, and he was 6'4", 300 pounds, and he had to lose 100 pounds in, I think it was 45 days or something. So he kind of split his psyche and created this alter ego called Goggins. And basically Goggins was somebody, a father figure that he didn't have, that, any excuse that he had would just browbeat him. And the self-talk that guy has, if you listen to him very much at all, and then you set a goal, and especially with me in fitness, it seems like I can set goals and I can strive toward them. If it involves early mornings, it's kind of, but he will, I hear him in my head, but yeah, so when you say you feel bad when you don't go.
And I always tell my kids, and I was like, don't be soft. So I'll get up, I'll be laying there, don't be soft, just get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but now they're a little bit older and they drive, and they have to get up and be places early. So, I got to get them up anyway, so I might as well go be productive.
Right. So what accomplishment are you most proud of?
Honestly, probably my family. Jobs are going to come and go thing, but, my wife's great, good boys, good family. Mm-hmm. That's probably, everything, that's most proud of, definitely, for sure. They've, it's hard being a superintendent's wife and kids and it's a lot of challenges. We got to have good people, but they've handled every move well that we've been at. Been supportive of everything we do. So yeah, great family, and I'm super proud of that.
You have two boys, right?
I do.
Dax and Ty, right?
Correct.
Are they both still in high school? Or?
Ty's a senior. He's about to graduate. And then Dax, he's a ninth grader.
Ninth grader.
Yeah. And Ty won Mr. BHS last night, so we're proud of him for that. That pageant was last night, so he's super excited about that.
Good.
Yeah, he's had a kind of long year towards ACL and football season, been going through recovery. His senior year, so been a rough year on him. You get to your senior year, a lot of things. Of course, he played most of the football season, but baseball, and had to miss basketball. So, been a tough year for him. But we're super proud for him last night.
I had Chuck Hayes on last week, and he was talking about how basically the whole sports program is just doing phenomenal. Football, baseball, and basketball even.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm trying to think, but of course, I don't go way back, but, as far as all of our sports, boys and girls, at the same time, that we're as competitive, I think, in every sport as, that I can remember. I know we've had great teams in the past, come through at different times, but right now, all our baseball, softball, basketball, football, track, you name it right now, we're just competitive, doing well. And I think, Bill has a tradition of having good athletes and not say good athletes, but kids that work hard.
Right.
We're probably not the best athlete all the time, but we have kids that work hard and like to compete. And, that goes a long way in sports.
That was something we heard throughout athletics growing up was, we may not have the talent, we won't have the size, but we have the heart. We have a tradition of that. How much does, you spoke to it earlier a bit, but how much does tradition play in what you do at the school? And do you see that trickle down? We've got coaches from, like the basketball coach, he's not from here, but how much does that trickle down, and how much do those people that aren't from here, how much are they taught about our traditions and stuff like that? What kind of role does it play?
As far as our football program goes, most of our coaches, they have ties to Booneville. Coach Crowley, even though he went to Charleston, his dad's from here, his mom's from here, and he grew up around this, so he knows and understands. A lot of our assistants, they're Booneville guys. Basketball coaches, we've had good teams in the past, but also we've struggled, but
right.
We had some coaches they've come in here and kind of changed the culture in our basketball programs, and got kids that the same thing, they kind of the same philosophy, be good at what you do, play hard every night, give yourself a chance, and that's for our boys, that's paid off. Coach Denton, now he's been here 10 or 12 years, I somewhere in there, so he's been here long enough that he's built that program and understands, and done a great job just with stability in the program. And he's a military guy, so he's routine and pushes our kids, and they work hard, play hard for him. And on our girls' side, Coach Goers, this is his second year, but have a really good girls' talent coming through right now, and Coach Goers is having success with them. Good young assistant coaches in those programs, so really trying to build some tradition in those programs. I say build some tradition. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but we're having some success in all our programs. But I know we went to school together. We were always told, and we're not the biggest, fastest kids down
right.
here. You get out of Booneville and you realize, well, no, we weren't quite as good as we thought. But everybody played hard. But when you grow up here, you don't know that you're not bigger and faster. You just know that guy's in front of you. You got to go get them.
Right.
And that's what you're taught. And our kids still do a great job of going out and believing they can win. And we win a lot, I think, just off work ethic and tradition.
Right. Even when you speak to people, not from here that are familiar with here, that's one of the things that they will, one of the first things that comes up is, oh yeah, their football team's amazing, or we're not historically known for basketball, but it looks like we may be changing that now.
Yeah.
But
from my first job or two, when I went to, that's what it's like. How, you look at them walk off the bus. They're like a bunch of little guys walking, off. So then they put on their pads and like a bunch of monsters walk out. Walk out. And they're like, I don't understand. I'm like, I don't either. It's hard to unless you've been there. You just don't understand.
Right. let's say, what would you tell somebody, a kid, 8th, 9th grader, or what do you tell them, if they kind of want to follow your path and they have aspirations to become an educator, administrator?
You got to love people. You got to be able to get along well with people. If you're going to be an educator, teacher, whatever role you're in, you got to be able to get along with others. I always say this, we're in the kid business. Mm-hmm. You got to enjoy being around kids and all the things that come with that. Being a superintendent, you're not around the kids as much as you were as a teacher and principal. That's a right little bit, because the kids are the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good part of the job. But if, in this, just as far as being a student wanting to follow this path, that, you want a good, strong work ethic,
mm-hmm.
And you got to want to help people. That's the name of our game, is helping young people, giving them opportunities to do what they want to do in life,
right?
Whatever that may be. But if you like people, you want to help them, have a good work ethic, and just doing the right thing will take you a long way.
I've noticed there's kind of a trend of schools that they're trying to shine a spotlight more on people that take the trade path. Let's say they get accepted to a trade school of some sort. They seem to is that? Do you see something maybe like that kind of program coming to Booneville, or do you think that's a good idea? Or
we've talked about we always want to brag on our students, no matter what. If they're when they're leaving high school, moving on to whatever
mm-hmm.
They choose to do with their career path. If it's something that's positive we can do, we're willing to look at it and try to do it. I think last year was a different year,
right.
And this year things are kind of leveling back
mm-hmm.
back to normal. But typically in the past we've had signing days for certain events, but we haven't done anything like that. I knew some schools have done that,
mm-hmm.
but definitely not against doing things like that, because we always want to celebrate student success.
Right.
If they're going to whatever, like say welding school, or whatever they're choosing to do after high school, if they have a plan, and class night highlights a lot of those things
mm-hmm.
for us. Not necessarily a signing day, but class night highlights a lot of our students and their academic accomplishments and where they're going and what they're going to be doing after they leave high school.
And I think, tell me if you disagree, but I think having a plan is kind of half the battle, because I don't know about you, but my plan from whenever I left high school to now was, it's going to change. Things are going to change. But the important part is setting those goals. Would you agree?
Yeah, setting the goals, but of course, my plan, after high school, same. It wasn't maybe to be a teacher coach, but not definitely figuring I'd end up where I was at now.
Right.
But for our students, that of course, I don't know if y'all know Ginger Lloyd,
mm-hmm.
Miss Ulmer, but she's great with our students and helping them, whatever they want to do, getting them, pointing in the right direction, helping them develop those goals and what they're going to have to do to reach them.
Right.
But yeah, having goals, which it's hard to choose your career path when you're 17 or 18 years
right.
old. You have what you want to do, but then life comes at you pretty fast after you leave high school. Things change.
Exactly.
But setting those goals, and even though you may have to deviate a little bit from how you get there, everybody's path's different,
mm-hmm.
for sure. But having goals, and even though you say you want to be a teacher now, but you get into college, you may find something else that you love.
Right.
I think kids from Booneville, a lot of times, we do have a lot of teachers that typically come out of here, but look at our industry. Most
mm-hmm.
of our, you're going to be, that we're around, are teachers or educators. You got educators, bankers, insurance, rock line.
right.
That's most of, you have role models, and that's what they're going to do in our community.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get out of here, you see there's a big world out there,
right? And
there's a lot of different things you can do.
What do you? I'm not asking you to predict anything, or what do you foresee our community? How do you foresee it growing, or do you see it kind of staying where it is? What's in the future for Booneville?
You look at it just based off numbers for our enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty flat the past 3 or 4 years. We haven't really grown. As many as we bring in, we've lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of see this right now being in a pattern of just being pretty consistent where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if more industry or something comes in, like, it can definitely cause growth. I think, but a lot of smaller rural places right now are kind of experiencing the same thing we are.
Right.
There's not a lot of growth. But we're definitely been maintaining our enrollment where we've been the last 3 years. Up a little bit, but for Booneville, it's a great place to live, raise a family.
Right.
We'll say we chose to come back here. We could have went a lot of other places. And growing up here, I loved it, and it's wanted my kids to experience a lot of the same things. That I had the opportunity.
What's that like?
What's that?
Seeing your kids kind of having the same experiences and things.
It's different now from when we grew up here, but they uncles, their grandpas, or they all come through here, and I think for me it's kind of a sense of pride.
Right.
They got to do the same things that I did and go through the same school, and for them too. They, that we all have that thing in common that got to be Booneville Bearcats,
right?
All those things, and even though, like I say, it's changed a lot since the 80s and 90s,
right?
But a lot of the same traditions we have here. But both my kids, they love being a Bearcat and those traditions, and it's been special for me to be able to watch them do those same things.
I would agree. As you know, Christian graduated from Booneville. Number 2 and number 3 sons, they in County Line. I have one graduated from County Line. One is on his way. He'll be a sophomore this coming fall. But my 2 youngest boys and my stepdaughter are in Booneville, and it's I like County Line schools. It's a good school system, but there is something, like you said, there's something that kind of touches your pride when you and I was young when Christian was born, so I didn't get to. I was busy all the time working bell to bell, so I didn't maybe enjoy it as much as I could have. But knowing, and he had a lot of the same teachers I had, but now a lot of the teachers are the people that I went to school with, or the family members of the people I went to school with. So you see a lot of the names repeat, and there's something to be said about familiarity. Having your family where someplace that the people. We talked about that in your position. It's good and it's sometimes not so good that everybody knows you, but I would say the good may outweigh the bad. Would that be a?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And with mine, with your kids, you want what's best for them,
right? And
I felt like I knew the staff here, and we've had some turnover. I mean, people retire and move on with things, but you want to put your kids where you feel that they're going to be taken care of the most. And, when you drop them off at the door, that people are going to love them, take care of them, and it's where we thought that felt the best with our teachers up here. That I drop my kids off, that they're going to take care of them, love them, and make them act right.
Right.
Do all the things, treat them like your own, and I think our teachers, I trust them. Trust them with my kids, and that's the most precious thing I have, and I think that's hopefully other parents feel the same.
Right. Yeah, I was raised with my grandparents, so my aunts and my uncles were kind of like my older brothers and sisters. I had the same teachers they did, and what you notice is when you have a large family in the community, generational, and the educators get to know the families, it becomes more than just a teacher, student, parent relationship. They recognize, they know the family. So that, if you have a kid that goes to school and the educators know you, they'll be like, I know your dad, you better straighten up,
yeah, exactly.
or I will call him, and I know what's going to go down. So it's kind of like being raised by the community. Christian couldn't get away with anything. Not to say he was an angel, but before he got home, I knew about something that he did.
You can't hide for sure,
right?
Everybody knows everybody knows somebody, so.
Right? What characteristic is most valuable in an effective principal? Let's say you were going to hire a principal. You have somebody that wants to be a principal. What makes a good principal?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that make a good principal, but when I hire someone, I want somebody that loves kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, number one, you're there for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I want a good person that loves kids, wants to do well. Then all the other stuff, it's just going to come and go. But if you're a good person, you're going to take care of kids and do what's right, you can be a good principal.
Right.
And the curriculum, the discipline, all the stuff that comes with the job, that's part of the job. But, I think our principals we have a great administrative staff right now. It's one of those that people are going to be coming to steal them, but they're good and they want to, they have Booneville ties. They want to be here, and all of them. I think they love our kids, and that's number one.
Right.
So when we hire young teachers, if they're a good person, we can get you to be a good teacher. Number one, be a good person.
Right.
And that's our goal when we hire people, and that's what we're looking for. Number one. Be a good person, and then we'll work on the rest of it. Get you where we feel like where you need to be.
I experienced firsthand, and I want to brag on you a little bit. I was very impressed. You were junior high principal. We had an issue at the school with Christian. I came down, and I was like, oh, great, here we go. He wasn't one to get in trouble, but he did get in trouble, and I was very impressed the way you handled it. You totally unbiased. You made everybody, all parties, feel comfortable that they had a voice. That and it wasn't this, it wasn't like it was a personal thing to you. It was like, sorry this happened. We have to address it. Here's what's got to happen. And I was like, I appreciate that. It's not like shouting, and it's not anger. It's not.
When stuff's going to happen, at school,
right?
That's I think try to deal with it. That something happened. Here's the consequence.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when you walk out the door, forget about it. Roll on.
Right.
Tomorrow's a new day. You walk in here, I'll give you a hug, shake your hand, and
right.
we'll roll on. Doesn't mean I'm mad at you,
right?
Or any student. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm mad at you. You're goofy, did something goofy,
right?
You got your punishment, and let's move on to the next thing. And that's the way try to treat everything. Heck, you're a junior high school, elementary kids. You're learning. Every day's learning. You're going to deal with stuff, and people are going to make mistakes or do something silly. Mine are included. And just know there's a consequence when something happens. I mean, I'm mad at you. So love you just like I did, and I think that's the approach we try to take. The students know that we're just trying to make you better, and don't mean we're mad at you,
right?
And, just roll on,
right. I didn't want you to leave without having told you that. I appreciate the way you handled that. What do you think we could do as a community to help Booneville grow?
Like the growth of the community,
right?
In general,
business, industrial. What, in your opinion?
Obviously, we need business or industry, one of the two, to help Booneville grow. Because we're 45 minutes at best from a larger where there's jobs. It's either going to be Fort Smith or Russellville, really. And for a lot of people, unless you have Booneville ties, you're not going to be willing to drive 45 minutes, live here, and then drive 45 minutes or an hour to your job. Now we have a lot that have Booneville ties, grew up in Booneville, that live in Booneville and drive there because they've all they're from here. But it's hard the other way around when you're not from a community, and then you're probably just going to live closer to your job. So having opportunities for young families to move back to for positions, I think that's number one to help help our community grow. And if you go off or go to college or whatever your career path may be, you got to have something. If you want to come home, you still have to have something come home to,
right?
To make a living. So, a few years ago, we had a pretty large, or quite a few young families moving back. That our elementary really grew a lot, and that's the first time we'd had since I'd been here that we'd had a large growth of younger families moving back for. I don't know what triggered it, but we did, they were coming back. But that's kind of, stalled out a little on us now. But I think, being able to develop some more business industry would definitely help,
right.
help our community and our, if families move in, that's more students and,
right.
which helps everyone out.
with the Lovins moving here and the theater and Sterling Soap and Roastery, that's kind of sparked, it's really kind of put a light on the way the economy in our country has changed to where you can have a local business and have a worldwide business. So, kind of my thinking and what one of my goals is to kind of advertise the way that Booneville is. It's a great hometown. It's a great place to raise a family. So if you have this internet-based business, that you can also have a forward, local business. If you're in retail, have a retail online store, whatever, and you want to open a shop as well. That this, an entrepreneurial type economy, that if we could get more people like the Lovins, more people like Stacy Holbert and Bill, one, it would grow our economy, and two, it would entice more industry to come in if we had, greater numbers. They're going to obviously have kids. And so the second goal of mine is kind of the motto I have for the business, which is grow where you're planted. Obviously we've had lots of people move away. I know I was told if you want to be anything, you're going to have to leave here. And I want to change that because, like I said, you can do anything with the internet. You can be anything you want to be, and you don't have to leave.
Absolutely.
And you can still have the security and all the benefits that come with a place like Booneville without having to live in a place like Little Rock or a place like Chicago or LA or Austin or something like that.
The Lovins, they've kind of laid a blueprint for what you can do.
Right.
In a small community with, hopefully they feel the support of our community and, local city, because, they've definitely changed the way downtown looks,
right.
With them and the success they've had with their business. I never, I don't know if I think like that, but like with Rod and Manny, the way they've built downtown and the success they've had and just laid out you can do about anything you want to, with the right plan. And it's been impressive what they've done in our community. And hopefully, others, see that and they continue to, kind of model after them. And, with the schools, one thing we want to do is, if you want to have an industry or business here, you have to have a workforce.
Right.
That we're producing students that, get out and that they're prepared to go to work and you work as our economy grows, that we have a workforce for them to grow with. Exactly. So, that's something that we, at the high school that we talk about, that getting students ready to move on to that workforce, and that they have the right skills to go to work for our businesses. And of course, with the right skills, and one, you be on time, and you work hard, they can teach you the rest. If you just those soft skills that you need to go be a good employee.
Mm-hmm. In my day job, I help with the hiring and screening of people that we hire for our retail locations. One thing I've noticed is the generation that is in the workforce now. And I don't like making general assessments, but it seems harder than just a few years ago to find people that want to work. In your opinion, what would you attribute that to, and what can we do to change that?
I don't know what to attribute it to, honestly. We hear that from, we're in contact with a lot of employers and industry. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. We actually have a lot of jobs, available in the River Valley. Mm-hmm. But it's Rockline or that are out there. But it's finding the right people to work, or people that want to work, or they may work but not stick with it for very long. So there's a high turnover rate in their industry. But as far as what's triggered that, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Kids are still kids, and they're. Don't want to sit here and blame it on it's the kids' fault.
Right, right. No,
because like when we go through, you have ornery ones, and you got but they're still going to do with the adults typically, the direction they point them. But I think you hold them accountable, and you want students or your employees to get out there, just that want to show up, and it's hard to get up and go every day and grind it out, and it's just I think you look out there. What you see on TV, what you see on social media, how all those things, does that attribute to what reason they can't? I don't know, probably some, but I know it is definitely harder to find employees to fit what is needed right now, and that'll stick it out. And I think all schools and communities are trying to figure out how do you change that cycle, back to having that good jobs, good paying jobs, and students or employees that want to work and are consistently there. Yeah, you just see that all over the country right now.
Right. I was talking to an individual that you and I both know, and he's in a particular industry to where he gets to see kind of I guess for lack of a better term, take the temperature of the people that are joining the workforce. And he said that the people from our community, Booneville, Magazine, Logan County area, he said, yeah, there is that issue, but it doesn't seem to be as bad. I don't know why that may be the case. And again, I don't have any quantitative figures to prove that. It was just an assessment that he had.
I think we have hardworking kids.
Yeah.
You go back to, the schools around here, and we have a hardworking community. That's what they grew up hardworking. They see their family members that do those things, and they're going to follow those footsteps. I could definitely see, of course, when you're a small community of 3,000, 3,500, and all the business, you don't have enough of them to go around for everyone that work like that. But I can definitely see our community being one of those that producing workers that want to work and are good workers. I think they grew up with their family members are those type of workers.
Mm-hmm. So once Ty and Dax are up and on to college, do you plan to stay here and continue your career here, or what are your plans for the future?
Right now, that's the plan.
Yeah.
They'll be out of here in a couple of years, moving on. You never know where life will take you.
Right.
What direction, but we love Booneville, Arkansas, and it's our hometown, and proud to call it that. But we'll just have to see where the future leads us.
Well, we're definitely glad to have you. We're glad to have you back home, and glad to have you where you're at. And I want to thank you for coming on. Do you have a website or shameless plug for your gym here? If you
I don't even know if we have. No, just go work out. No shameless plug down there. It's been good for our community. We just wanted something for a nice place for people in the community to go work out, and so far I think we've got that. We've had it's done well so far, and you can come check it out.
Yeah, I will.
I'll let you work out with Brock, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard an interesting take on work ethic as far as training. It's George St. Pierre's trainer. I don't know if you caught that episode of Rogan, but he was saying that, and this is one of the reasons why I'm in that cycle. Not making excuses, but why people like me get in that cycle to where you finally get enough willpower, you go and you work out and you just kill it, and you overdo it, and then you can't even open the door. Well, his philosophy is, and he says this is why the Russians are so much better at wrestling than the Americans are, is because he says the Americans go all out every time they go in the gym. They work out 3 days a week, and they go all out, and they're sore. They go to fatigue, they destroy their muscles. He said that what the Russians do is they go every day, and they go maybe 80%, maybe 70%. So in 365 days, how many reps, how many rounds do you have versus going 3 days a week and then you go do overboard and skip a day here and there. How many times were you in the gym versus the American way of killing it? So I'm like, I like that idea. So I can go in there and just kind of, but then when you go in there and there's other people in there and they're just killing it, and you're over there, with a 5-pound dumbbell.
There's no killing it for me. No worries. I'm too old for that. It's more habit now than going and killing anything. You get up there and you do too much, you get too sore. It's not worth it.
Right.
Or hurt yourself trying to be young again.
So you've kind of figured that out as a natural progression of doing it. So
if you do too much, stuff hurts that shouldn't. So you just
right. And
realize, hey, it's time to not do that anymore.
And it takes a little longer to overcome that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you have a workout that you've done? Do you change it up, or is there a program you follow, or is it just something that you...
I'm probably more of a go in there and wing it. I got on Mondays, I kind of do something, and Tuesday, kind of,
right.
Every day, I kind of what I'm good, or at least a muscle I'm going to work out. But far as sets and reps and all the stuff, not really. I just go in there and whatever I'm feeling for the day. That's probably not a good way to do it, but you do it long enough, you kind of have your plan in your head, what's going on. So,
and you learn to feel what your body can do and what it needs, and
probably needs more cardio and less the other stuff's what it needs.
Well, Trent, I appreciate you coming on. I really thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing this. Like I say, I didn't even know about it. So call out of the blue, and I say it's neat. I'm proud somebody's doing this for our community, and hope it takes off and goes well.
Thank you.